Hello, hello, everybody. So let's get ready for our Monday session, getting our mind, our emotions, our spirit, our energy ready for the week, okay? So, first, and especially if you've been sitting for a while, make sure that you're nice and comfortable. So, give yourself a little stretch. Even if you need to stand up and shake your legs, do that. Like I'm stretching. Everything that's stretchable. And once you feel nice and loose in your body, make your way back into your seat. And first, let's just make ourselves a little bit more aware of where we are. So just focusing on the weight of our bodies, noticing the points of contact between our body and where we're sitting. And then allowing ourselves to feel even the weight of our feet on the ground. Noticing the point of contact between the soles of our feet and the floor. And here having a brief moment of connection with the earth. You might even want to visualize or imagine that you're grounding yourself into the earth, allowing your energy to ground, to anchor itself into the earth. And then once that's done, let's bring our attention, our focus all the way back up into our chests and into our hearts. Imagining or visualizing as if our breath are flowing in and out through the heart. And just breathing a little bit slower and deeper than we usually do. So imagining the flow of our breath entering our hearts when we breathe in. Breathing in deeply and slowly, and then releasing the air. Again, imagining as if the breath flows out from the heart. And trying to release the breath in about the same length of time as we breathe it in. So that we have harmonious, regular cycles of in-breath and out-breath. And this regularity, this rhythm, is going to communicate to our body and brain that it is a time for calm, quiet, and peaceful. So let's do that for a minute or two together. Just breathing in and out, a little bit slower and deeper, and in an harmonious, balanced rhythm. Okay, so let's do another minute together, just breathing a little bit slower and deeper than we usually do, and in a nice, harmonious, balanced rhythm, imagining as if our breath is flowing in and out through our heart. And that slow, deep rhythm for the breath is already sending a message to our whole body that it's time for some calm. So let's take advantage of this calm, neutral state. And first, let's just remind ourselves of the vision that we have for our future. Where are we heading? Which direction do we want to reach in an ideal world? What's the dream? What's the goal? What's the vision? So if you're clear on the vision for your life, just remind yourself of that. But if that's a little bit too unclear or too intangible for now, maybe just bring to mind a goal that is maybe closer in time, something that is important to you in the next few months or the next few years. Just remind yourself what's important to you and why it's important to you. And when you're asking yourself why it's important, maybe you realize there is another goal behind the first one that is more important. So keep asking yourself, why is this important? And then maybe you can even identify what's the energy of this goal that is important, what it is that you're looking for with this goal. Maybe it's an energy of peace, or maybe it's excitement. It could be freedom, it could be adventure, or it could be stability, serenity. Whatever it is for you, there is no right and wrong. Just notice. And then, once we've done that, we're gonna briefly Imagine that we are turning ourselves towards the very recent past and having a contemplation about the past week. What happened last week that worked well and that also didn't work as well as we wished? And let's have a neutral, no judgment contemplation. So just bring to your awareness all of the events that you want to nurture and build up on, everything that you want to keep, everything that's already working well. And just notice the other things that maybe don't bring you as much joy, or that maybe you'd rather let go of, the things that no longer serve you. So just notice in your life last week what worked well, what didn't work as well as you wished. And as you do this, without judgment, also notice if maybe some things might look like they don't work well because the results don't work, but maybe there are still some aspects of the process that do bring you joy, that you do feel are very much aligned with you. So just notice if that's the case. And also maybe in the things that do work well, maybe they work well because you achieve the results, but maybe the process doesn't bring you as much satisfaction. So allow yourself to notice as well. Noticing the moments when you feel in the flow and the moments when you don't feel in the flow. Sometimes regardless of the outcome. Okay, and once we've done that, let's ask ourselves that one question. If last week was to repeat itself in the future, last week or a version of last week was to keep repeating itself in the future, does it give you the impression that it would bring you closer to your vision and your goals? Or is it bringing you off track? And here is just a general sense. Maybe you're noticing that you might be going in the right direction, but maybe not quite right on target. or maybe you're nowhere near where you want to go. And if that's the case, please don't judge yourself. Just welcome this information as valuable, as very useful feedback. Because now we're going to start working on course correcting. So now, for this part of our session, let's first invite our imagination to come and play with us for a moment. And now we're going to imagine the best possible version for the week that is starting today. So, starting today and imagining that we're in the best possible version of ourselves, that we're in the flow, and that the flow that we're creating is generating the best ideas and the best connections. So when you're at your best, what happens? What are you creating? What results are you producing? What connections are you making? And first, the easiest to imagine is everything that's in our control. So if you imagine that everything that's in your control, you are creating in an effortless, smooth, easy way. And yes, it might require some efforts, but they don't feel like effort because you're feeling in the flow. So just notice what happens. What happens when you make things happen in a smoothest, easiest way possible. The actions that you take, the decisions that you make. And then notice how that probably makes you feel even more in the flow, even more excited, or even more generous. And just notice how you being you and you being in the flow is also impacting people and situations around you. So that now the things that are not even in your control are also working out for the best. It might even seem a little bit like magic, but you being in the flow and impacting others around you is creating those beautiful ripple effects and opportunities. So what do you notice during the week? What might be happening? What can be happening? Maybe new possibilities, new opportunities. outcomes coming to fruition, people coming together in harmony. And as you allow your imagination to play, just allow it to go even further and imagining unexpected events, unexpected connections, unexpected possibilities, surprises. What if this week was full of surprises? Surprises that are very much aligned with your vision, with your goals, with your values. So allow yourself to daydream what possibilities could be entering your life. So allow your imagination to dream without limitations. And now we are going to set an intention, knowing that possibly right now, even our wildest imagination is still limited by what is familiar to us. And so what if we were open to welcome in our lives possibilities and opportunities that are beyond what our imagination can possibly imagine right now? And so let's set that intention that if and when that happens, we will be open to recognize and acknowledge these possibilities, even if they don't look familiar to us, and will be willing to welcome them into our experience. So let's allow ourselves to dream beyond the limits of our own imaginations. Okay. And now for this next part of our session, let's just notice how we are feeling. We've just imagined a best possible version of the week. How does that make us feel? Because remember, your mind doesn't really know the difference between real or imagined. So this beautiful week that you've created in your psyche, it will evoke some feelings that are very much aligned. So just notice what they are for you. And maybe there are feelings that you're very familiar with, that you can put a name to. Maybe you don't quite know exactly how you feel, but you know that you're feeling something in your body, some sensations. So in any case, we're now going to make these feelings, these sensations stronger and stronger. And to do that, I'm going to invite you to imagine again as if these feelings are flowing in and out directly through your heart with each of your breaths. So with each in-breath, it's as if these sensations are flowing and pouring into your heart and into your body and filling in every part of your body, filling up your tank. And with each in-breath, you can feel them even more intensely inside yourself. On each in-breath, you feel these feelings more and more inside of yourself. And now also on your out-breath, you imagine, you visualize or feel as if these feelings are flowing out from your heart into the field, the space around you and in front of you. Every time you breathe out, just imagine these feelings as if they're pouring out from your heart into the space around you and in front of you. And with each cycle of breath, they become stronger and stronger. With each in-breath, you feel them more intensely. And with each out-breath, you radiate them more and more powerfully. Every time you breathe in, they flow into yourself through your heart. Every time you breathe out, they radiate out from your heart. And every cycle of breath makes them more and more powerful. So powerful that it's as if your heart now can't even contain them and is shooting them out into the space in front of you with such intensity that it's like a big laser beam, and that laser beam projecting these heart feelings out in front of you is opening up a portal right in front of you. These heart emotions, heart sensations flowing out into the space in front of you are so strong that they are literally opening a portal in time and space right in front of you. A portal in time and space that gives you access to a new timeline, to a new version of the week that is starting now. A new version of the week that will be absolutely aligned with your vision and aspirations and goals. So now I'm going to invite all of us to imagine that you're taking a few steps towards this portal. As you're doing so, you are grateful for the timeline behind you that is about to dissolve. You've learned from it, you've learned from the past, but now you're stepping through the portal, entering this new timeline, this new version of your future. You're stepping into it with confidence, knowing that on this side of the portal, you are 100% connected with all the possibilities and opportunities and connections that are aligned with your vision. So here, I'm going to invite you to take a moment to take slow, deep breath and soak in this moment. You've just stepped into the first day of this new version of the week, this new version of your future. And just allow yourself to feel this connection. And maybe you're feeling as if this new future is connecting with you physically, as if you can feel with each in-breath these possibilities connecting with your body, with your cells. You're getting in sync with these new possibilities. And maybe if you're a visual person, you are noticing that you're seeing things in your environment. Maybe you're noticing colors, new colors, or maybe they're more vibrant. Or maybe you're an auditory person, and so maybe you're noticing some sounds. Maybe you can hear some voices that you know, or maybe new voices. And maybe you're kinesthetic, and maybe if you imagine that you're touching something in this new version of the future, maybe you can even feel the texture, the temperature. Maybe there are even new smells. Maybe it smells like something familiar, or maybe something new, something fresh. Just allow yourself to notice. And notice how your body is responding. You might notice you're feeling connected or expanded. And we want to nurture that beautiful state for as much and as long as possible, to really anchor this state into ourselves, making it real for our minds and our bodies. And so to do that, now we're going to create an anchor. An anchor is a very simple physical gesture that will be a reminder, a very easy reminder that you can use at any time when you need it, to remind yourself, to remind your own body, your own psyche about this beautiful state of connection that you're in right now. So this anchor can be something as simple as touching two fingers together. It could be touching your heart with your hand. It could be something very simple like rolling your shoulders or taking a deep breath through your nose. So just choose your anchor now. Just choose what you're going to use. And now bring your attention again to how you're feeling, this state of expansion or connection or groundedness, whatever it is for you that you're experiencing right now. And whenever you're ready, apply your anchor. And as you apply your anchor, just know that this is the way that you're locking in this state into your own self, into your own body. So if you chose to touch two fingers together, touch them now. If you chose to touch your heart with your hand, do it now. If you chose to take a deep breath, do it now. Whatever your anchor is, use it now. And just know that this is your signal. It is your signal to yourself and also to the universe, to your mind, to your body, that you are now connected with this vision, with this timeline, with this version of your future, with this internal state. And this is your reminder that this is real. Okay, beautiful. So now let's just remind ourselves that this anchor will bring us back whenever we need, at any moment throughout the week. And let's set that intention that we will remember to use it and that we will notice all the little signs that we are aligned, the little moments of flow, the little moments of synchronicity, the new opportunities. We will notice and we will remind ourselves that this is what we are creating in our own experience and that this is real. Okay, so now we're coming to the end of our session. So we're going to bring ourselves back to the here and now, to this new here and now, this new present. And to do that, let's just rub our hands together until they're warm. Then place them at the top of our head and gently touching every part of our body as if we want to remind ourselves of the boundaries of our own body. So starting with our head and face, down our necks, shoulders and arms. And then the front of our body, torso, abdomen. And then the sides of our bodies, rib cage all the way down to our hips. Our backs as much as we can reach. And then from our hips, touching our thigh all the way down to our knees, and then the lower leg all the way down to our feet. And here, if you can touch your feet, it's great, but if you cannot, it's okay. Just press your feet into the ground one more time. Noticing your connection with the floor, with the earth. And maybe finishing by a little thank you, a little thought of gratitude for the earth that allows our human existence on this plane. Okay, fantastic. And then once you're ready, you can open your eyes again and get ready to start the week. And so have a great week ahead. Look after yourselves. Don't forget to use your anchor. Remember to use your anchor. And I shall see you next week for next Monday for our next session. Bye, everybody.